Alright you guys, since I have a show next weekend, I thought since this guitar and my SG had not been taken apart and worked on at all since around April that I would do this today. So let's start out by talking about what we're going to need. First things first, a 1 pound bucket of Stoker's long cut wintergreen, tape of varying thicknesses, a cell phone to keep your dumbass from getting bored, electronic parts cleaner, Scott's liquid gold, paper towel, Meguiar's polishing compound, generic dollar store beverage, guitar strings, I prefer JHS, shitty Harbor Freight Dremel tool, would not recommend buying this to anyone ever for any reason, clippers, peg winder, 64 scale, Q-tip, magnifying glasses for your blind ass, WD-40 because you're all out of 3-in-1 oil, a desk with a towel on it, and a shirt rolled up, and some 4/0 steel wool. That is all we will need. Oh, and a cloth. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is grab yourself a giant chaw, because you're a redneck, and there's nothing finer. We will not be needing the chaw again for the duration of this video. Now, we're going to rip the strings off this bad boy, or bad girl as the case may be. Yeah, normally, maybe you saw my other video about stringing a Jazzmaster. Normally, I don't take the strings all off at the same time. I change them one at a time, but it's time to do some work on these frets, and I am a full week out as of today from my next show, so there's plenty of time for the guitar to get used to strings. So I always cut these in the middle because trying to individually feed them back out of the bridge is just something I'd rather not waste my time on. So just cut them in the middle, wrap them up, make sure you put them somewhere your wife's feet are sure to find them, or husbands, ladies. I am not sexist here. Some gnarly girls to play guitar too, boys. Let me tell you. So get those out of the way. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually start taping off this fretboard, because a lot of my frets are getting dented up, and the super high frets haven't been played in a while. I'm not going to level them or anything, I'm just going to give them a pretty serious polishing, and to do that I'm going to tape off the fretboard. I really recommend just getting all different sizes of tapes, because you're just going to be so much happier as a person if you do that, just because some things will never ever you know, annoy you more than trying to get the right size tape to fit on a fretboard. So this takes a lifetime to do. So I'm going to speed up the video, and I'll catch back up with you guys when I'm done with it, starting now. Okay, so this is one of the really cool things about electrical tape. You can actually, for a few frets, stretch it. So like this is too wide to fit between these frets. But if I just pull on it, it'll get to the point where it fits right between these two frets. And I've been doing that for like the last 3 or 4 frets. That was probably the last one I could do. Okay. Alright, so now we're way up here and we really cannot go any further without having to, you know, cut the tape in half or something. So instead of doing that, what I do is when I get to this point, I just, and I'll use the thinnest tape I have, I'll just leave as many exposed as I can and tape right over the rest and go back and do those later. Now if I was gonna do like a fret level, if you were to be doing a fret level, you obviously would not want to do this. You would want to take your time and cut the tape and get it to fit and do all of the frets at once, but I'm not doing a fret level, I'm just polishing my frets. So I don't need to get stupid. And there really, I'm only missing 2 frets over the entire fretboard, and I could cut those out with a razor blade, but like I said, I'm just polishing this, so I'm not going to do it. Now, here's something super important if you guys don't know this. The shavings that come off your frets are obviously metal, so your pickups are magnetic. Don't be a dummy. Tape off at least the neck pickup. Unless you're really messy, and then you might want to tape off the bridge pickup too. But I don't think I'm quite that messy. Now what I'm going to do is take 4/0 steel wool and go to work on this bad boy. Let me back the screen. I'm going to back that up a little bit so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. I guess all that talking I've been doing is for naught, because you haven't been able to see what the hell I've been saying. Sorry. Anyway, 4/0 steel wool. You should be able to get it anywhere. Normally I would wear rubber gloves, but I am all out of rubber gloves. So what I'm going to do is just polish the tops of the frets until I don't see any coloration differences. I want the whole fret to look exactly the same. If there's one little spot that's like grayer than the others or something, then you're not quite doing what you should be doing. And the first like probably 7 frets on your guitar are going to be the ones that require the most effort, and they still require barely any effort. So don't get too crazy. Alright you guys, I'm going to work my way down. We'll see you at the end. Okay, make sure you vacuum this shit off. You don't want to deal with steel wool leftovers, trust me. Yeah, metal shavings are horrible, kids. Alright. So, what I'm going to do now is take the Meguiar's polishing compound, if that'll ever focus. Take this stuff, squirt it out onto a piece of paper towel, as such. And literally just take your fingertip and put it on every fret. It doesn't need to be gooped down like I have it gooped down there. I can probably use that for like 8 frets. But you do want to cover the entire fret with it. Make sure you get just a bit on the whole fret. Really, like I said, it doesn't have to be thick at all. In fact, doing it thick is just going to make more work for you in the end. So you probably really don't want to do it too thickly. Okay, so there we go. All the way down with that stuff. And now what we're going to do is take this uber terrible generic Dremel tool that I got from Harbor Freight, which you should never ever, don't ever buy this Drill Master brand. I know you can't see it, it's blurry, sorry. But these are terrible. Buy a real Dremel tool and you'll have it for years and it'll do a good job. Do not piss away your money on this turd. I had a real one, it broke. I didn't have the money to replace it. I don't have the money to replace it yet. Just buy a Dremel brand, okay, yo? Alright, so what I'm going to do now is take this to the frets, both directions. I'm going to go this way, then this way. I don't know why that stopped. Hopefully this keeps going. I don't know how much you guys missed. But anyway, I just got all the way back down the fretboard. And I mean, my battery's not dead. Not sure what's going on there. But anyway, so what we need to do now is the 2 frets that we did not do. So that's the tape we're going to remove, is around those 2 frets. I'm going to start there. And basically what I'm going to do is just retape around those 2 real quick. Okay, my battery is flashing now. Maybe that's why the video recording automatically stopped. Hopefully this doesn't stop again, at least till I get this taped. Oops, I need to use smaller tape. Let's change the battery first. If you're wondering how you know when you're done with a fret, the whole fret will look uniform in color and shininess. It's going to look the same level of shiny all the way across the fret. If you see any areas that are dull or they look like they have a minute nick in them, then you want to keep going. But once the whole fret looks the same level of shiny, you're done. So, get my vacuum back over here. Try to suck up the rest of that crap. And let's see here. Get a tiny, tiny bit of Meguiar's. There we go, that's enough. Just a little bit on each fret. This thing's probably got enough to do 10 frets on it anyway. Alright, that's that, guys. So let's take off the tape now off our fretboard. Gonna have to come back and do some more vacuuming. Now, to be honest with you, this guitar is probably in need of its first fret leveling at this point. There's enough dents in the lower frets. Sorry, wasn't even sure if that was recording. There's enough dents down here in the lower frets to where I could probably stand to level these frets. But I'm not really good at that, or at least I don't think I am. I have done it. I can do it. I do have a slight bit of confidence in myself, but I'd rather not do it because I know people who have done hundreds of them, and I'd rather just go pay them to do it. And I don't have the money for that right now, so we're not going to worry about it. It's a guitar, man. It really don't need to be perfect to play. It just needs to play, right? Alright, we'll take that off the pickup. Then we're going to run the vacuum again real quick because I noticed a lot of metal shavings up here. You really don't want that crap because, number one, you can scratch your guitar with it. But number two, if it gets in your fingertips, it's so annoying. It's horrible. So what I'm going to do now is hit the fretboard with liquid gold. I love this stuff. If you don't like it, if you're like, oh, you shouldn't use that, or so-and-so said that you should use this and not that, I really don't give a fuck. Okay? I really don't care. I use this. I use it twice a year, you know, literally. I do this to my guitars maybe every 6 months because, like I said in the other video where I was stringing this, it's really, your guitars don't like to have all the strings taken off. So you really kind of just shouldn't do it unless you friggin' have to. So, and the other thing is, like, you know, you see what I just did? Spray it on, get it off. I'm using a paper towel. Just get it on there and get it off. You know, don't leave it on there to friggin' soak. The other thing I like about liquid gold, the other thing I like about liquid gold is you can get it on anything. You can get it on your pickups, you can get it on your metal parts, you can get it on your frets, the fretboard, wood. Doesn't matter. It just kind of cleans them up, makes them even better. It's a great product. You know, if you have stuff with rust all over it, liquid gold will literally restore it to a certain extent. So now we take our cloths and we give it a good polishing. So alright, see, I don't know if you guys can see that, but you look at them bad boys now. Them frets is shiny. And this thing is going to play like butter. Alright. Now what we're going to do is basically finish cleaning this thing. First thing I'm going to do is take this electronic parts cleaner, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap it around this jack a little bit here so I don't get crap everywhere. And I'm going to hose that jack because it's been fidgety lately. So I'm just going to hose that with some electronic parts cleaner real quick. And now I'm just going to clean up the rest of the guitar, which is pretty gross, to be honest with you. Because like I said, I haven't really taken all the strings off this since April of this year. Otherwise, I've just changed the strings one at a time. Try to get all the nasties off. Well, you guys, so it looks like this is probably definitely going to be 2 videos because I filled that entire card. But anyway, I'm going to say that again because I don't know if you guys caught it. I know a lot of people like unfinished necks, but I actually like glossy necks because of the way that my body chemistry is. It just, the neck actually feels faster when I get sweaty when I'm playing a show and I start sweating. A glossy neck feels faster. I don't like the feel of the raw wood on my hand. Now I understand why a lot of people, you know, don't like glossy necks, because like when I play a cheap guitar like an Epiphone or something, I cannot stand the way those necks feel. It feels like you're, you know, it's been accurately described as you're playing with your hand covered in peanut butter. But, you know, if you have a decent quality instrument and the finish was allowed to cure correctly, I think that makes a lot of difference, because this guitar never feels like that. My SG has a lacquer finish on the neck, never feels like that. So I don't know, but I mean I have definitely played some Epiphones and stuff that the necks felt horrible, you know, or maybe even like some Mexican Fenders where the neck felt like somebody ate a bucket of chicken right before they went about playing it. Let me readjust this a little bit, guys. So there we go. I'm sure you can see we have a very shiny lady now. And I guess I could just sit here and wipe it for 3.5 more hours, but I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is take a piece of paper towel, as such, wind it up, come over here, take my WD-40 and coat the end of this Q-tip, and I'm just barely going to put it on every bridge saddle. Normally I would do this exact thing but with 3-in-1 oil. I don't particularly like WD-40, but I am all out of 3-in-1 at the moment. So we're going to use WD-40, and I'm also going to take it to the nut slots. And that's all you're going to do. Just a tiny, 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 tiny bit. And in fact, if you can go back and like get any excess off of there, do it. You know, don't leave it on your neck or laying around. I'll show you another tip. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I really probably should have just done this in the first place. A regular, non-anything chapstick. and just the tiniest amount right where your strings go across the saddle and across the nut. Helps with the tremolo stuff. So yeah, there we go. Now all that's left is stringing this thing up. You've already watched me do that. So I'm going to end this video here. I don't think I have anything else to do to this guitar besides the fretwork. Yeah, that's really it. If you want to see me string this sucker up and how I do it, you can click right over here, and that video will show you the rest of this process and how I actually prefer to string it. Alrighty, well, there she is, all completed, looking mighty pretty, mighty shiny. And now she's gonna sit in this case till next Friday, and I'll play it once at practice. That should get the strings all stretched out, and I should be good to go for the show on Saturday. Now let's do my SG. Alright, so on to the SG. First things first, we gotta get the strings off because they're super disgusting. And they've been on here for a lifetime. And this guitar, I don't even think this got cleaned up back in April, so it's extra nasty, and it's been needing this real bad. So yeah, first thing I do is just loosen the strings up, and then I'm going to cut them off. And now I'm just going to take the whole bridge piece off. Get out of my way for now. Again, make sure you throw the strings on the floor so your wife stabs her feet and hates you. Again, make them nice and stabby. Throw them on the floor. And yeah, wow, that neck picker was really loosey-goosey. So yeah, pretty much the same thing. Gonna tape off the neck. You can watch if you want. I'm gonna fast forward the shit out of it and go back to listening to Smodcast.
Radio character to me, Dad, is not a magic word. You're a cunt. That kid. He sure does curse a lot. I wish we had that. Oh, fuck, man. Best part of that kid wasn't down the crack of your ass, Judy. I'll tell you that right now. Stop it, Harry.
If you guys are still watching, I'm fucking amazed. I don't know if I'm going to run out of camera time here. I probably am. So anyway, I'm going to just go ahead and stop this. And the frets are all polished now. I'm going to pull the tape off, and I'll catch back up with you guys. Alright, you guys, real quick. There's the SG all finished up. I do apologize you could not watch the rest of it, but I literally filled up a 32 gig and a 16 gig card making this video, so I don't even know how much you're actually gonna see of me doing it, but she's shiny and purty again. Alright, peace, take it easy.